Please help us recognize our 2012 Ulster County Entrepreneur of the Year from Tonner Dolls, Robert Tonner.
Oh, geez. There's a lot of people out here. When Ward called me, I was so shocked that I had received this award that I heard 50 minutes, not 5 minutes. So you'll bear with me if you would. Anyway, I want to thank UCDC and the Chamber for this award. It's quite an honor. And when I saw that article in the paper on Sunday, I couldn't help but think of my father, who would have absolutely loved that, and he would have been so proud that it was in the business section and not in police beat. Yeah, really. Right. Yeah, good for me, Ron says. Okay, all right. Anyway, you know what? You can't do this kind of thing without the right people surrounding you, and I have been so fortunate in having those people around me. And I'm going to go through a little bit of the development of the company. I won't take too long, but I just want to share a few things with you and things I learned. One of the most crucial things I learned early on was that when you start a business, and as an artist, and you guys, you want to do your art, you don't think about the business. And that was true with me. When I started this company, my plan was I'll do the art and I'll hire somebody to do the business. Well, that works to a certain point. And here's what happened. We were doubling and tripling our business every year for the first few years. I mean, I was always confident in the product, but I didn't want anything to do with running the business. So I hire from the industry, I hire a vice president, I hired a controller or a financial guy, and I had a production guy. And I walked by our conference room one morning, and they're having a meeting. And there's papers and spreadsheets and charts all over and computers, and they're busy. And I walk into the room, and I say, well, you guys, shouldn't I be on this meeting? It looks important. And here's what my vice president told me. He says, no, you don't have to be. You wouldn't understand. That vice president is no longer with me. No, but what that did to me is it got me fired up. And I thought right then and there, number one, you got to learn the business. So what I did was I contacted a good friend of mine who started a business up here. And it's called Meta Systems, and her name is Lisa Morell, and she's right here. Lisa, wave. She is a business coach, one of the best I've ever dealt with. Actually, she's the only one I've ever dealt with, but she is an amazing coach. And let me tell you how that first meeting went. So they didn't want me to hire her because it cost money, and they didn't have anything to do with it. So, but I brought her in. I made this happen. Do you remember this? We're sitting there. The meeting's supposed to start at 9 o'clock. These three guys are in there having coffee, right? And I'm sitting there with a couple other people from the company. And Lisa says, well, it's 9 o'clock. Would you like to start? And I said, oh, sure. Let me go get the guys. And she says, oh, is that how you run your business? You go and get your people? And that was the biggest lesson I ever learned. So, in that minute, she taught me to take charge of my business. And since then, she's been an amazing coach, and I've done everything I can to learn it. She also taught me something else. She taught me about company culture, and in that, trying to find that vice president, that person to help me guide the company. And I'd made a few fits and starts, some good people, but we really couldn't communicate over the years. And my good friend Harris Safer runs Meets and Bounds. He kept Westwood Meets and Bounds. Sorry, he kept saying, well, who do you need? Who do you need? What kind of person do you need to run this business? I said, I need someone like Jack Kralik, and a lot of you probably know Jack. Jack was in the real estate business for a long time, and he was very successful in the real estate business. And you know, these conversations would come up, and Harris would, what kind of person do you want? And I said, I need somebody like Jack. And then again, I need somebody like Jack. So guess what happened? Jack became available. Harris said to me, he's looking to do something else. What do you want to do? And I said, not Jack. No, but anyway, Jack and I talked, and I did hire Jack, and that was the start of finding the captain for my ship. I mean, and what Lisa taught me, and what I've held on to is, you set the person that owns the company, or the person that's running the company, has to set the culture. If you set the culture, the people that don't fit into that culture will leave. They will self-deport. Is that? Yeah, something like that. And you know what? It's happened to the people. I want an upbeat company, I want a hardworking company, and I want a loyal company. And that's what we have. And the people that don't fit in, whether they're new or they're old, they eventually leave the company. So, second thing I learned. Third, you want to grow, you got to let go. As an artist, I'm very selfish about my work. And I didn't want to let go of it. I wanted to do everything myself, not the business. But I did want to do, I wanted to do all the artwork, but I needed help. And eventually, I had a couple of assistants, and I wouldn't let them do anything. I mean, these are design assistants, and I really wouldn't let them design, And eventually, I hired somebody, became available, Joe Petrolisi. Joe, wave. From the city, 25, 30 years, 40 years, I don't know how long, of design experience in the Garment Center in New York City. Amazing background, and this guy comes in, and I don't let him do his work, right? And it became, we fought about that many times, and we kind of battled about that. But eventually, one thing led to another, and I realized that if I don't let him do, what do I have him here for? So I started to let him do, and I started to appreciate his work. If I'm a good designer and things did sell and did work for me, then that's great. But what if I brought another me in there, and then what's that going to do for the company? And that is exactly what happened. I was able to expand what we were able to do, and I was able to really grow it, with the help of an incredible talent. So that is, that's key for growing a business, for me anyway, is that, when I hold on to things, you got to let go of that stuff. If you want to grow, you got to let go. And then, along with this, you can grow a business. I've been doing this for 21 years. You can grow a business, but there's another part of it. If you're part of a community, you got to give back. And I learned that. Well, I was very fortunate to meet Tom Collins, the person, not the drink. Although, I got to say, the drink sometimes can be more fun than the person. No offense, Tom. Anyway, so Tom, I bought a couple of buildings through Tom, and a fair deal, Anyway, I bought these buildings, and but one day I'm sitting at my desk, and I started to get to know Tom, and I'm sitting at my desk, and Tom calls up, and he says, I want you to be on the board of the Kingston Hospital. And I said, you must have the wrong number. All right. And I really thought he meant Harris. I thought he meant Harris should be on the board. He said, no, I mean you. So he showed me, and he showed me in the best way possible. He's an example. And, Tom Jacoby also, he's an example of people that give, they run a successful business, they do something successful, but they give back, and that is a lesson. I look up to these guys. Like this is what I want to do. So I'm not good at joining though, but whatever. But I did join the hospital, and it's been an amazing thing. When you open yourself up to opportunities like that, you get incredible return, and the return I got is the people that I get to know around Kingston. Amazing people. So I thank you, Tom. And last but not least, the biggest thing, and it started 25 years ago when I moved up here. A weekend house. I was living in Manhattan. I had a weekend house up here. And I bought my house through Harris Safier, my partner for 25 years, and now my spouse. Thank you, New York State. taught me to take a chance. You know, he showed me to take a chance, and so I did. Of course, it cost him a lot, but I took a chance, started the business, and over the years, you know, I hold on to that. You got to embrace change if you wanna grow. If you want to get anywhere, you've got to embrace change, and I struggle with it. At 60 years old, and I go to Comic-Con. You guys know what Comic-Con is? It's this pop culture thing out on the West Coast. You know, I have to go to Comic-Con, and I'm 60, and I don't know what's going on. So I have to read all this. I have to keep up with it. But you know what? I try to embrace that, hold on to it, and that's what I learned from Harris. So you know, this is an incredible community. I've met people that the most wonderful people with the greatest integrity of. I can't imagine any place better to live or better to start a business. So you know what, if I'm giving to community, that's nothing compared to what you're giving to me. So thank you very much.
Can you do the dolls?
Oh yeah, okay. Well, you guys have been good and quiet, so I'm going to do something. If you could number all the dolls, the centerpieces, we're gonna just give them away. So we're gonna give them to the person whose number I picked. Jason, if you could come up with the basket. So what I want you to do is I want you to number off around the table, okay? Somebody start at 1.
1.
Right. You guys, this should not be difficult.
Some tables have 10, some have 12.
We have 12 tickets. All right. You ready? Everybody done? Did I hear a no? Everybody done?
Yeah.
All right. The person at the table that gets the centerpiece is person 5. Enjoy it.